I see about 3 or 4 persons. I just give a couple more minutes to join, and we'll get started. Okay, are you all able to see the course schedule, the course outline?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Okay, for 3 minutes, I will begin. That would be 10 past. Okay, I'll be emailing this schedule to you later today. I think I had sent you a listing of the dates earlier. there was one person who I bounced back, I think Jules. Let me see. Yeah, I see you, Mr. Metador. I see you on the list, but when I sent the email, it came back. So need to get an email address for you. Are you here, Mr. Metador?
Yeah, good morning, sir. I received the list though.
Good morning.
I received.
Yeah, but I will be communicating with you through emails.
Hmm.
So I need a correct email for you. Whatever email you gave me didn't seem to work. So what you could do for me, please, if you look at the course outline, you will see where it says my email is dokeal@gmail.com. Just send an email to me, and just my name is your name, and then at least I'll have an email to respond to you with.
All right. Okay. Thank you. I'll do that.
Okay. All right. So I guess we're going to begin. I will try to share my screen. Okay, are you all seeing the screen, chapter 10, simple interest?
Yes.
Yes, okay, all right. So okay. All right, so good morning again. My name is Donald Allen. I'm going to be your tutor lecturer for this course that we'll be doing, business calculations. I had sent out the dates earlier. If you didn't get the dates that I sent out, I need you to send me an email to the email you see at the top of the screen there, dokeal@gmail.com. You could send me an email to that and let me know your name so that I create a group. So when I send assignments or marked work or whatever I need to send to you as a part of the course, I have an email address to send it to. So I did get a list from the office, but there might be some additional persons who joined since we were supposed to have started about 2 weeks ago. Right now, because of the fact that we are starting late, we have to include a few midweek classes in the mix. So normally the classes are on a Saturday from 9 to 12, but about for three classes, we're going to have a midweek on a Wednesday or Thursday. Now I put Wednesday or Thursday because some people can't make it Wednesday and some can't make it on a Thursday. So it is hoped that either Wednesday or Thursday, all of you will be able to meet. So if you can't make it Wednesday, then you come on the Thursday. If you can't make it Thursday, come on the Wednesday. But we need to make those additional classes so that we can cover all the content required for this course. So on the screen, you should see the first 7 weeks. If you need to contact me, the email is there. I also have a WhatsApp number at the top there. It's just for WhatsApp messaging only. Okay. Today is the 2nd of October, so we start with chapter 10 of the text, and you will see the remaining chapters listed for each week. We also have a few tests that are done at certain points throughout the course. And the week 7, we have first midterm. Okay, now the next page. What's going on with you? Okay, so the second half. Okay. Total, we have 4 tests, and these tests are just on some chapters that we have covered. So test 1 is the 9th of October. Test 2 is the 20th or the 21st of October. Test 3, 6th of November. Test 4, the 20th of November. And the midterms, we have the first midterm, October 30th. And the second midterm is the 4th of December. Now, I am told that for the midterms, you may have to do it on site at the BIFS office. I'm trying to see if I can arrange to also make it virtual. But if that's not possible, then you will have to go on at the office to do those tests. So we try to arrange that it occurs on a Saturday. The Wednesday, Thursday classes are from 6 to 9. As I said earlier, Saturday classes is from 9 to midday. The book is listed, Practical Business Math Procedures, 11th edition. And of course, you need calculator. I don't think they allow phones in the final exam for a calculator. You need to have a calculator separate from your device, tablet or cell phone. Writing materials. Now, even though it's a virtual class, you're expected to still write. From time to time, I'll ask you to take a picture of what you did and put it in the chat so I could see what you did. Or you might just hold it up to the camera so we can see what you did. Okay. The assessment, the grading scheme is shown there. And you will see where homework is 4%. You get homework after each class. The 4 test is 1.5, total of 6%. The midterms are 15% each. And then the final exam is 60% total. Final exam is set for the 18th of December, 9 a.m. to 12 noon. So you will see where we make mention of homework and test taking policies. We give homework after every lesson, and that's for your practice, so that when you do the test, you are even more familiar with the content. Okay, the dates are given to you. You're expected to make sure you are present for those tests. If you have to go on site to do it, then we'll let you know. But for the most part, I'm going to try to have them done virtually. Now, because we are delivering the lessons virtually, we're asking you to please make sure your microphone is muted until you are ready to talk, or if you need to ask a question. So if you need to ask a question, you could unmute, ask your question, and then make sure to mute back when you are through. And you should also be prepared to be called upon at any point throughout the lesson to answer questions or to get your response to anything that you are asked. Okay? Any questions thus far? Any questions? No?
No, sir.
No.
I do.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes, sir. Mhm.
I don't know if the book is yet. You can provide
Mhm.
any guidance on where I can get a copy of the book.
The book is available at the office, at the BIFS office. So for this lesson, oh boy, I guess I may have to, I could probably make a copy and email it. If you send me an email to say you need it,
Okay, that's fine.
yeah, just for this lesson. But
But
right
I'm
issue
moving forward. I'll
regarding
work on getting the book.
okay, and your name is?
This is Yuri.
Okay, all right, because I'm not seeing anything on my
All right.
side, so okay, all right. Any other questions? Okay. All right, so there are no questions. I guess we can begin because we are starting a little late, so we have to try if we could catch up as much as possible. Now for today, we are going on to the book, which deals with percentage. Even though the book is required because much of the homework and practice and much of the content is outlined in your text. We won't use every chapter, but we're going to be using most of it. Okay, and there are some references that you need for the book. Now, what I'm going to do, like I said, I'm going to email the course outline to you, and also the copies of the slides that we're using today with after the lesson. So today we begin with simple interest, which I don't think it's a new topic for most of you. Okay. And in the book, if you have the book, page 265, you'll see at the top, I try to put the page that the slides to as we go along. You will see reference made to something they call maturity value on page 265. Let me find it here. 265. Okay. So maturity value is equal to your principal and your interest. Okay. So of course we know that the principal is the amount that one borrows, or it could be the amount that one saves. And of course the interest would be what you are charged for borrowing or what you are paid for saving. Okay. So when you add the two together, what is referred to as the maturity value for the loan, that the total amount you would pay back for the loan, or the total amount you would earn for an investment is referred to as the maturity value. Now you'll find for this chapter, the focus is more on loans rather than on investment. But the term maturity value refers to the total amount when you add your principal interest, whether it's a loan or whether it's an investment. Now this formula, also on page 265, the formula that I think most of you would have probably seen sometime in the past, high school maybe. Shouldn't be exactly new. Okay. So we have simple interest equals the principal times time Of course, the rate is still 6%, and the time is stated in years. Example is given to person borrowed $30,000 for office furniture. The loan is for 6 months. Rate is 8%. You're asked what is chance, interest, and maturity value. So you will see on the example showing how to calculate. So 30,000 is the, what you refer to the 30,000 as. What is the 30,000? What part of the formula is that represented?
That's the principal.
Principal, right? And then what is this 0.08?
That's considered a rate. So you took that as the percentage and you just turn it to the decimal form.
Okay, so that 8% was converted to a decimal form. And then we have 6/12. Why is it 6/12?
You said you did it in years. So you
Okay.
put the one at the top and then it's a total of 12 months in the year.
Okay. All right, since we have 12 months in the year and you get 6 months, you would put the 6/12, which actually works out to a half a year. So once that calculation is done, then you see that the interest, this case is $100. And so your maturity value would be the 30,000 plus the 1,200, which works out in this case to 31,200. Okay, so while she bought 30,000, at the end of the day, because she has to pay interest, she will pay back 31,200, and so that's the maturity value for that. Okay, so this next example will basically follow the same principle. Is for this time, the time is a year, it's half a year, and because it's a year, you multiply by 1, because it's already stated in years. Because the first one was in months, you put it over 12 to get half a year, but in this case it's 1 year, so you multiply the 30,000 times 8% times 1, and in this case it's 432,400 for maturity value. All right, so just the first quick practice exercise there. 3 questions I want you to do, and I'm going to call on persons to answer, tell me what you got. Okay, so I'll give you a couple minutes to work on those 3. Okay, work. I'm going to call names, and I need you to answer as I call, so I could know, because while I'm sharing the screen, I can see who is there. So Branique Payne, are you there? Branique Payne? Okay, I have Yuri Butler already. I think you spoke already. Yuri Butler, just acknowledge. Yuri Butler?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, you're there. Okay. Atia Knowles? Atia Knowles?
Yes.
Okay, you're there. Okay. Jules Medor?
Is it?
Yes, okay. Waltine Hope? Hello, Miss Waltine Hope? Natalia Nairn? Natalia Nairn? Dania Rowe.
Yeah.
Okay. Denise Thompson. Okay. Anybody didn't hear the name? Unmute and tell me your name, please.
Venique Adderley.
Spell your first name.
VENIQUE.
Okay, Denique Adderley. Okay. Okay, Denique, you need to send me an
Venique.
email. V
Yes.
as in victory.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Venique. Okay, Venique, you need to send me an email at dokal@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll have your email address.
Okay, no problem.
Okay. All right. Anybody else whose name I didn't call? So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 persons. Okay. All right. I'm going to share the screen just a moment so I could just check to see. Oops. Denise Thompson. Miss Denise Thompson, are you there?
Yes, my power just came back on.
Okay, Denise Thompson. Okay. All right. Let me see what else I have here. Okay. Denise Thompson. Okay. All right. Go back to sharing. Okay. So I'm going to call on persons to tell what they did for number 1, Miss Dania Roll. Just to say what you did for number 1, please. I'll
So-
write as you talk.
Okay, so I multiplied the 16,000 times 3%.
Okay. So how did you write the 3%?
0.03,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
and then I times it by 8 over 12 years. I mean 8 months over 12. Yeah, 8 over 12.
Okay.
And I got 16,320.
Well, you that's after you added, but I mean when you did the multiplication, what did you get?
Yeah, the multiplication was 320.
Okay. So you got 320. So in this case, all they wanted was a simple interest in it.
Okay. Oh, I can't hear.
0 times 0.03 times 8 divided by 12, 320. Okay, so that's correct. All right. Oops. Okay. All right. So, Ms. Thompson, Denise Thompson,
Yes, sir.
you know what you did with number 2.
I didn't do anything with number 2.
Well, let's do it together.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so we're going to be doing 15,000 times
Okay.
6%,
And how do you write that 6% in the calculator?
0.03,
6%.
06, my bad.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Times And then you can multiply that by,
90.
but now that's it's 6 years. You're gonna do that 6 years.
Times 0.06. That's 9.
Yeah, what I'm saying to you, it says calculate the simple interest on 15,000 at 6% for 6 years.
Oh, over. Okay, so it'll be 6 years over 12.
No, if it was multiplied over 12, but it's already
I'm
in
sorry,
years.
I'm coming in the middle of this. I
Don't
don't
worry
know
about
exactly
that.
what-
Don't worry about that. That's just a learning experience for all of us. So I want to make sure we all understand. So
I see.
if,
So I
if it was months, if it was in months, you put it over 12 because there are 12 months in the year. But once it's already stated in years, then you just use the number that's given in years. So it'll
So
be
it'll-
15,000 times 0.06 times just the
6.
6 by itself, right?
Okay.
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 So what answer you get when you do that multiplication?
6. 54.
54. Double check that.
15.02 divided by
No division.
0.6.
What
So when
division is.
I'm sorry, you breaking up. I can't hear you properly.
I'm saying it's not. There's no division. It's all multiplication.
So, 5,400.
Okay. $5,400. Okay. So once you're finding the simple interest, if the time is given in years, you just use the years as is. If it's
Okay.
in months, then you put it over 12. What
Okay.
would you do if it was given to you in weeks?
In weeks, I guess you
Yeah,
put it
let's say
over
like
54. I don't know, 52 weeks.
52. Okay. So if it's given to you in weeks, you put it over 52 because there are 52 weeks in a year. All right, thank you much. All right, so the next one, let me see, Mr. Mess it up. That last one, number 3 says calculate the interest and maturity value.
All right, I think I'm a little confused there. All right, so let's calculate the simple interest and maturity value, right? You would put the 40,000 times
Mhm.
0.08%
Mhm. Time.
times 0.08%.
Well, not percent, 0.08. Because 0.08 is the decimal form of 8%. So it'll be
Okay,
40,000 times 0.08.
okay, you're right. That would give you $3,200.
Okay, but what about that 18 months? What you did with that? Remember, it's principal times rate times time. So you have to multiply the time as well.
Right.
So how are we going to deal with the time?
18 months is equal to 1 year and 1 year.
Once you're given months, you just put the months over what?
Over 12.
12, right? Are you able to see what I'm writing?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, okay, all right. So 40,000 times 0.08, and since you're given months, you would put the 18 over 12. Now, if you wanted to, you could convert that into years. If you change 18 months to years, what would that be equal to?
Months to years. Yes.
Yeah, if you change 18 months to years, what would that be?
1.5 years.
Right. So if you wanted to, you could have said, instead of writing it like how I have it here, you could have said 40,000
Mm.
times 0.08 times 1.5, because 1.5 is 1/2.
Right.
Okay, so either way, you get the same result. So what is the answer when you do that multiplication?
$4,800.
Okay, I hear 4,800. Let me see. All right, so that would be the interest.
Right, that would be the interest, yes. And then the matured value would equals to 44,800 when you add it together.
That sounds like. Okay, so you add, so the interest, then I'll put I equal that, and then the maturity value would be equal to the 40,000
That's the interest.
plus 4,800, which is equal to 44,800. Okay,
Okay.
so we all clear on that? Any questions?
To
You ready
find the
for that, Sonia?
maturity. Sorry, I was asking,
Yes,
so
yes.
when we find in the maturity value, we're adding the interest plus the, what is that, the
Principal.
amount that she borrowed? Okay.
Right, right. So if the question just asks you for the interest, you just do your multiplication. If they want the maturity value, you're going to add the interest to your principal, and that gives you your maturity value. Okay,
Thank you.
we're going to move on then. Okay, now, if you have, can you look on page 266 at the bottom of page 266, going to page 267, you will see something there about two methods of calculating simple interest maturity value. Okay, so one method is called the exact interest method, and the other method is called the ordinary interest method. Now I want you to look at the two. So this is method 2. I'll go back, and method 1, exact interest, ordinary interest. They give you the same question using both types. Somebody borrowed 40,000 at 8%, and the same thing happens with the other one. Now, what do you notice the difference between the two as calculations? Mr. Notice any difference between those two? What's the difference between those two methods?
The exchange, one is 360 and one is 365.
Okay, that's basically it. So in the case of exact interest, they're looking at the exact number of days in a year. With the ordinary interest, they're looking at 360. And 360, if you're doing a manual calculation, that's an easy number to calculate manually without a calculator, because any numbers can go into 360. Okay, so that used to be some time ago, but nowadays with computers and everything, we basically using exact interest. But you just need to know the difference between the two. So exact interest is 365, ordinary interest is 360. So when you see a question asking you to do the calculations using ordinary interest, all it means is that you use 360 as your denominator, getting a rough estimate of the number of days in a year. If it says exact interest, they want you to state do your calculations using 365 days. So the formula is the same. Interest is equal to principal times rate times time. But there's something introduced here which we didn't do previously. You notice that with that question, it didn't tell you the time. What did they do? How did they get a time?
They
me
gave
see.
the start date, so they said March
Mhm.
4th,
Mhm.
and the due date is July 6th. So I
Okay.
can see how they calculated that time
Oh.
in between.
Yes, okay, so in this case, they actually tell you what date the money was borrowed and when the payment is due. And you're gonna have to work out how many days it is between the start date and the end date. All right, your calendars and count the days, or you can use this table here, which you'll find in your book on page 187. Okay, so on page 187, you will see this table called the exact days in a year calendar. So what you do, you go, you look for March 4th is your start date, and your end date is July 6th. So what you would do, you go to March 4th. Let's see here, March 4th is right here. What number you see there? March 4th,
63.
63, and then we look for July 6th. July 6th is, look like this here. That would be
187.
187. And so you're going to find the difference between those two. So you're going to say 187 minus 63. When you subtract, that's what you get.
124.
124. So that's how they got the 124. So that's a table that you can use to work out your dates between two dates. Okay. So aside from that, the procedure is the same. You multiply your principal, in this case, 40,000, times your rate, which is 8%, times your, because you have days, you're going to put it over either 360 or 365, depending on the method we're using. So in this case, since it's exact interest, we put it over 365. So when you do that multiplication, you get 1,087.12 as your interest. And then your maturity value, you add 40,000 to that, you get $41,087.12. Okay. Now, with the other method, it's the same procedure, 40,000 times 8% times 120, but this time your denominator is 360. So when you multiply that, you get 1,102.22, and you add it to the 40,000, total $41,102.22. Of course, you end up with a slightly higher amount for the ordinary interest because your denominator is smaller. Okay. Any questions between those two methods? No? Okay. Right. So let's move on then. Okay, so we have another example here. So this person borrowed 15,000 at 8% on May 4th, and the interest and principal are due on August 10th. So they give you the two methods side by side. Exact interest, 365, ordinary interest of 360. They worked out the number of days to be 98. And so basically you multiply your principal, which is 15,000, times your rate, which is 8%, times 98 over 365 for exact, 19 over 360 for ordinary. Okay, and you will see again that the ordinary interest or the ordinary method gives you a slightly higher interest because we have a lower denominator. And you add the interest to the principal to get your maturity value. Okay, so let's look at one. We have some stuff missing. So I'm going to call on persons now. Let's see. Start with Mr. Butler. Mr. Butler, what should go right here at circle?
365.
365. Okay, yes, 365. Okay. Miss Knowles, what is the formula that we're using? That we're going to put right here. That's your Knowles. Knowles, are you with us?
Hi.
Yes, I was asking you to tell me what formula should I put here because we're calculating interest. What's the formula again?
Oh, I equals P times R times T.
Okay, thank you. All right, so we go to Mr. Messer now. I could ignore, I just put it there. I want you to tell me what figures we have in our calculations at this point.
All right, we have $20,000 as the principal,
Principal, 20,000,
7% rate or 0.8%, 0.7 in decibels.
oops, what I did here. Okay. 0.07,
Times the amount of days, which would be May 6th to August 14th. Hold on.
okay now. So May 6th, August 14th. Okay, so you have the book?
Yes.
Okay, so you go to page 187.
So that's it.
Tell me what you get for May 6th.
100 days.
May 6th is 100.
226 minus 126.
Oh, you do. I was asking you what you got for May
Oh,
6th.
6 is 126 days.
126, okay. And August 14th,
August 14 will be 226.
226. Okay, so the number of days then would be
100.
100, right? So you have 100, and then you're going to divide by, what's your denominator going to be?
265.
365, because we're using the exact interest. Okay.
Right.
So I need, thank you, sir. Going now to Ms. Roll, Daniel Roll. Calculate that and tell me what you get.
One moment, just.
Okay. Ms. Roll,
Say it again for me.
how do you pronounce the first name?
Daniel.
Okay, Daniel, okay.
Okay, so I got $383.56.
Thank you. Yes, that's correct. All right, so your interest is 383.56. Thank you. All right, so Ms. Denise,
Yes, sir.
you now tell me what is maturity value. How are you gonna work that part out?
You're gonna add the interest plus the principal, which is
Okay. That's 20,000 plus 383.56.
which is a
Your
total
total
of
is
20,838 and 56 cents.
oh,
383, sorry, 383 and 56.
383.56. Very good, thank you. Okay, I want you all to work out the same question on the other side. All of you are going to do it. And this time we're using the interest. So do that, and then I'll call on someone to tell me what they get as their final answer. Okay, and Nick, I haven't heard from you. Are you there?
Hi.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, how you doing? You finished that question?
I finished the first part. I finishing it off now.
Hmm.
1 second.
Okay.
Okay, I am done.
Okay. What you got?
I got this the final answer or just
The
the
final,
answer?
yes. The maturity value.
Final. The maturity value is 20,388.88.
0.88. I think you're off by 1 cent.
Yeah, I did too. I rounded it off as well.
Okay, so it should be
89.
okay. So it's $20,388.89 is the final answer for that. If anybody didn't get that, let us know so we could go through it. Everybody got that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes. Okay. I didn't hear any male voice. Young man, did you get it too? Mr. Butler, Mr. Metro? Hello?
You say you rounded it off by 1 penny? Sorry.
No, wasn't it 38.88888?
So we leave it at 888 and don't round it
So
up.
it's gonna be $388.89 for the interest.
Okay, okay, yeah, I got that then.
Okay.
I
And then
got
you
it.
added the-
Sorry, but
Okay.
I decided working it
Okay.
out late.
Oh, okay. All right. So Yuri Atia. Okay. All right. So then we will look at the next section of this chapter. So you see the triangle there. Everybody know that interest formula is principal, times rate times time. So it's principal times rate times Sometimes we want to find the principal, sometimes we want to find the rate, sometimes we want to find the time. So this triangle that you see here, it actually represents the relationship between the 3 or 4 things. So interest is equal to principal times rate times time. That's what it's depicting. But let's say we want to find the principal. How would we rearrange the formula to find the principal? Looking at that triangle configuration, how would we find principal? Anybody want to take a guess at it? Just looking at how it's set up. We want to find principal. If you
The
want to find
principal will be the principal will be the interest divided by the rate
Break
times
on
the
the
time.
time. Yeah.
okay. So based on how that's set up, you should be able to see it. Principal is equal to rate interest over rate times time. And then if you want to find the rate, it will be equal to
Interest divided by the principal times time.
of course the time then would be equal to interest over principal times rate. Okay. So just using that configuration that you see there, I equal, so I over PRT, you should be able to rearrange the formula to find any of the other values that you want. Okay, so that's a useful setup to help you to remember how to rewrite the formula if you need to. You should have a pattern here. In each case, what is common throughout all 3 of those variations?
So
What do you
interest,
notice common throughout them?
divided
Everything
by,
is divided by the interest.
Okay, so the interest is on top, and the other 2 would be at the bottom to divide into the interest. Okay, so we have a question here. It says find an unknown in simple interest formula. So this question says Christina Jones paid the bank 8,000 interest at 5% for 90 days. How much did she borrow? So in this case, if you ask how much did she borrow, what are you looking for? How much did she borrow? Is that
The
principal rate?
principal.
We're looking for the principal. Okay. So if you're looking for the principal, then principal is equal to interest over rate times time. And I want you to note, okay, in this case, on top they have 8,000 because 8,000 is the amount that the interest is. She paid the bank 8,000 interest. So that's why that 8,000 is here. Then 0.5 is the interest rate. So that goes at the bottom here, 0.05. And she borrowed for 90 days. Now, they didn't tell you ordinary or exact interest, but oftentimes when they don't say, we just use the ordinary. So the 90 days over 360 is your time. Okay, so you do the calculation, and in this case, it comes out to $640,000. I want you to try that calculation in your calculator to see if you get that same amount, because depending on the calculator you may have to make some adjustments there. But try it on your calculator, see if you get that same amount. 80,000 divided by 0.05 times 9 over 360. Anybody have any issues with the answer they have?
Oh, I see what you did.
Hmm? Anyone having unable to get the answer that's given there? No? Okay, so I can move on then. Unless you have a question. Okay. All right, so this next question, John Molly borrowed 7,000 from the bank. Interest is 350 for 220 days. What rate of interest did John pay? All right, so we're asking for rate. So rate is equal to interest over principal times time. So in this case, that 7,000 represents what does the 7,000 represent?
The principal.
The principal, okay. And the 350 is
The interest he paid.
interest, okay, and of course, 220 would be its time. Interest over principal times. So in this case, the rate is equal to the 350 on top, which is the interest, divided by 7,000, which is the principal times the time, $220, divided by 360. So when they worked it out, this is what you're going to get on your calculator. It's going to be a decimal form.
Right, I want to say.
And when you get a decimal form, because you are working it as a percentage, how will you change it from the decimal to a percent? What you going to do to get this what they have here?
Times 100.
All right, so you're going to multiply that by 100. And then in this case, they had it to 2 decimal places. That's why it's equal to 8.18. Okay.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
How did you determine that that the interest is that it was ordinary interest?
Well, usually I suggest that if you don't see it stated, just use the 360.
Okay,
If
so
it's
that's
not
a rule. We
stated,
should,
yeah,
that's something
for
we
the
should know.
course, yeah, for the
Okay.
course, once you don't see it stated exact or ordinary, use the 360. All right, so let's look at another one. In this case, Jim Morris borrowed $1,000 from the bank. Interest is $300, 8%. How much time does that have to repay the loan? Okay. So we're looking for time in this case. You borrow 1,000, that means 1,000 would be your principal. The interest rate is 8. So again, we're going to put the interest on top, the principal times the rate at the bottom. And so you work it out, 300 over 80, and that gives you 3.75. It's a long time for $1,000, but that's what the answer gives. Now, this is the answer. It didn't actually say how, it just says how much time does Ashley have to repay the loan. So normally time is in years. If they wanted you to give it in days, if you're using the ordinary interest method, then you would multiply at 3.75 times 360. If they ask you to do it in exact interest, you'd multiply the 3.75 by 365. All right. So you only do this calculation to days if you are asked to work it out in days.
Okay.
All right. But on that, you would just leave your answer in years. Whatever you get when you finish your calculation at this point, you just leave it, give it as years. Okay, I'll give you a few minutes to work on this. 1, 2, 3 questions. So they're asking you to complete the following, and we're using 360 days in each case. The first one is asking to find the principal. Second one is asking to find the rate. And the third one is asking to find the time, but they want the time in days. Okay. So it should take you more than about 5 minutes to do that, those three. And I'm going to call on some persons in a minute. And 10. So
I don't understand.
yes, ma'am. Hello. Hello. Somebody had a question?
Oh, no, sorry, that's me. My mic was on.
Oh, okay, okay. Anybody finish yet?
I'm trying to do the last one now.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to start with Ms. Adley for number one. Ms. Adley. Adley, are you there?
Hi.
Yes, ma'am. I want you to tell me what you did for number one.
Okay.
Which formula did you use?
Principal equals interest divided by rate times time.
Mhm.
So,
So what could be on top for your interest?
the top would be 9,000.
Mhm.
And at the bottom, 0.04 times 90 divided by 360. That right? Right?
You sound like you're not sure.
Pardon?
So you sound like you're not sure.
I am sure.
Okay,
I'm
yeah, you're right.
sure.
You're right. You're right.
So
Yeah, but
I
what you get when
okay,
you
because I don't have
calculate.
a scientific calculator right now. I'm using my phone. So
Mhm.
it's a bit different than how I would do it if I using a calculator. So
Mhm.
what I did was I divided the 90 by the 360 first,
Mhm. Mhm.
give me 0.25. So I do the 0.04 plus 0.25, which gives me 0.01. So 903 divided by 0.01, and it gives me 900,000.
What you got?
That 900,000.
Okay, so you say divide the 90 by 360 at 0.25.
Yes.
Okay, volume is a little low.
Got it?
Oh, your volume was a little low. Okay, so when you after you do it, so you'd have the 10,000 over the 0.04 times 0.25, and then what you did after that.
Is it 56,250?
Yeah, but how did you get that? That's what I'm asking. What did you do?
I divide the 9,000 by the 0.04 times 0.25.
Okay, now since you don't have a scientific calculator, what you do, you put your 9,000 and you put divide, then you open brackets, your open brackets,
Yes.
and then you put 0.04 times 0.25 close bracket equal. Try that and tell me what you get.
Same thing I said the first time. 900,000. That's what they gave me.
Yes, that's the answer. 0.0000. So you have to be careful when because you have to divide the whole of this bottom portion into 9,000. So when you're doing that, you have to make sure to put brackets around that portion so it divides the whole of the bottom. If you don't use a bracket, it's only going to divide the 0.04 and then multiply by 0.25, which will give you a different answer. Okay,
Okay.
so thank you. Hardly. All right. Everybody clear on that number one? 900,000?
Yes.
Yes, okay. All right. So I'm going to Miss Knowles for question number 2. Atia Knowles. I'm going to clean this off. Okay. So Miss Knowles, tell me what you did for number 2. First, start with the formula that you used. Are you there, Miss Knowles?
Yes. You said the
Okay.
formula? Oh,
Yes, start the formula.
interest divided by principal times time.
Okay, so rate is equal to interest divided by principal times time. Okay. So the figures you're going to put here now would be rate equal
$280
280
divided by 6,000 times open bracket 180 divided by 360 close bracket.
Okay.
Equal 280 over 3,000.
Over 3,000 you said?
Yes.
300. Okay.
Equals 0.0933 and so on.
0.093. Okay. All right.
And then I got a 9.33%. Right.
Thank you very much. Very good. All right. So when you multiply by 100, you get 9.3%. So that is correct. Okay. Everybody clear on this one? I could clean it now? Yep. Okay. So let me do that. So Butler, number 3, what formula you use for that one?
T over I divided by P times R.
Okay, so you're looking for T equal I over, you said P times I? No, P
R.
times R, okay. So the figure to be using now is equal to
190
190 over
divided 900
900
times 0.06.
Okay. 0.06. Okay. All right. So what's the next step after that?
What I did was I multiplied the denominator. Just to simplify it, I did get 54.
Okay, 54. Okay.
And I divided that equals to 3.52.
Okay, that would be years, but they want it in days,
So you have to multiply that by 360.
right? So 3.52 times 360. That gives you how much?
1267.2 pages.
Say that again?
1267.
Okay, 1, 2, 6, 7 days.
Yeah.
All right. So if they didn't ask you for days, you would stop with years. But since they wanted in days, then you would multiply it by 360 or 365. But since they told you use the 360 days, then we multiply by 360, and we get the 567 days for the two in this case. All right. All right, so we're going to step up the pace a little bit then, since you seem to be getting it so quick. So ready for level 3? Yes, no?
Depends on what level 3 is.
Okay, so see then. 1. All right, so the next level here is, in all the examples we're looking at, just make one payment. So you make the payment at the end. So you borrow $1,000 for 6 months. When the 6 months come, you pay back the amount you borrow plus interest. But of course, most times loans are not really done that way. What's the usual way for paying back a loan? Thompson, what's the you right? Monthly. Yeah. Over you making monthly payments. All right. So in this section, we're looking at making partial payments before the due date. So let me see what this is doing. Okay. So you'll see here where it says that any partial loan payment first covers the interest that has built up. The remainder of the partial payment reduces the loan principal. So tell me what you understand that to mean. Denise Thompson. Tell me what you think that is saying. Just tell me what you think.
Partial loan payment first covers.
Say
When
that
you
again?
make your first payment, that payment goes towards their interest. And so what's the remaining partial payment? The second partial payment will go towards the principal. The payment reduces the principal of it, the loan itself. So it takes down the principal.
Okay. basically when you make a payment, your payment is split into two parts by the bank. One part pays the interest, that's due at the point when you make the payment. So they take out their interest first. And once they take out their interest, anything that's left out of your payment, then that remainder that's left reduces the principal of your loan. Okay, so it's a two-pronged, two-part process that's involved in reducing your payment. The question here is a little longer, so we'll look at an example. And this is on page 270 to 271 of your book. And so what happens here is that this person that 11%, 90-day note. The principal is 5,000. The interest is 11%, and the length of the note is, or the loan is 90 days. Sometimes they use the word note, mean loan. So on day 50, the person pays $600 on the note. Then on day 80, the person makes another $800 payment. So they are saying now, using the 360-day year, you have to work out what is Joe's adjusted balance after day 50, after day 80, and what is the ending balance due. Okay, so let's look at the calculation involved there. So the first, it says calculate the interest on the principal from the date of the loan to the date of the first payment. So loan is for 5,000. This is what we have here. $5,000 is the loan. The loan is for 90 days. Not wait until day 90 to pay the loan. He made a payment on day 50. So that's why you see here 50 over 360. We're using the ordinary interest method. Okay, they mentioned here, assume a 360-day year. So 5,000 is your principal. Your interest rate is 11%. Your first payment is on day 50. So they're only going to charge you interest for the first 50 days. That's going to be $76.39. So your interest for 50 days is $76.39. So what the bank is going to do now, that $600 payment that you made, which is right here, but take out the $76.39 from it. All right. And so $123.61 is left out of that $600. So the bank captures their interest first, which is $76.39. And out of that $600, you are left with $523. And that $523 will now go towards reducing your principal. So you see here, 5,000 you borrowed, going to take out $520.61 out of that. So now your principal will reduce to $4,476.39. Okay, so even though you make a $600 payment, all $600 is not going towards reducing your principal, because the bank is going to take out their interest due on a 50, which is $76 $56.39. So principal will be reduced by what's left over when they take that 523.61 from the 5,000. The new principal now after that payment is going to be $4,476.39. So that's the first stage of the calculation. You now have a new principal. Your principal is no longer $5,000. Okay, are we following so far?
Yes, sir.
Yes, okay. So now, next stage now, you're going to, the person made another payment. The person made a payment of, what was the payment? Okay, $100. But he made the payment on day 80. So you will see here now, to calculate the interest that's due when you make that second payment, your principal is no longer 5,000, your principal is now $4,476.39. Your interest is still 11%. Do you notice what they put on top? 30. Why? We got a 30 from. Anybody?
The days in the month, I guess. I don't know.
From the balance of the 80
The
days.
balance of the 80 days.
80 days.
Okay, so the second payment was made on day 80. You already paid interest for how many days?
50.
50. So they couldn't charge you, they couldn't put 80 there because if they put 80 there, they'll be double
Charging
charging you.
you
So
interest.
they could only charge you for the additional days after day 50. Okay, so when you make an additional payment, they have to subtract the days which you already paid the interest for, which in this case was 50 days. You already paid interest for the first 50 days. So on day 80, another 30 days passed. When you do your calculation now, this would be your new principal, which is $4,476.39 times 11% times 30 over 360 for those 30 additional days. So your interest for the second payment is going to be $41.03. Since your payment was $800, you're going to take away that $41.03 from the $800, and you're going to be left from that $800 with $708.97. So what you're going to do with that $758.97? Anybody want to
Subtract it
answer?
from the balance. The
Subtract it from your
4,476.
Principal.
from your new principal. So you're going to subtract from there, and so that's what you see right here. You say $4,476.39 is your new principal minus the $17.42. So right now, that's what you owe the bank. $3,717.42 after you made those two payments of $800 and $600. So now, did you make another payment? No, but you still owe the bank. How much you owe the bank now? How much is owed to the bank at this point?
3,717
$3,717
and 42 cents.
How many more days left for you to make the final payment?
10.
10 more days, because you already made a payment on day 50, you made a payment on day 80, and the loan is 90 days. So you only have 10 more days left. The bank also wants their interest for those 10 days. So tell me what you're going to do to find the interest for those 10 days. Let me hear from, you see now. Ooh, okay, Mr. Isidore, what are you going to do? How are you going to work that interest off for the last 10 days? Tell me.
Well, you're gonna take the 3717.42. And you're gonna times that by 10 over 260. Point.
10 over 360.
Then you
And
got
what's the interest?
11.11% to that.
Okay. So this is right here. So we see it, $3,717.42 times 11% times 10 over 360. And that gives us $11.36.
36 cents.
Okay. So in the past, we were subtracting, but now you notice what they did? They added, they add there. You see here, we subtracted the interest from the payment, but in this case, we didn't subtract, we added. Why? What's happening here?
I don't know. How come they got it?
What's this 11,036 represent?
The interest on the remainder of the days, eh?
Right, interest on the remainder of the 10 days. So you have to pay the bank that, right?
Right.
Right. So you are not making additional payments at this
Oh,
time.
you gotta make,
What
oh,
You're making your final
a
payment.
final payment.
Yeah,
Okay.
so your final payment, you would add whatever other interest you owe the bank along
Right,
with
okay.
your principal at that point, and that tells you now what your final
Total payment
payment
is.
will be.
Okay.
Okay, so that's level 3. That's not too bad.
No,
Okay. All right. So it does involve some, a few steps there. Making sure that each time a payment is made, you take out the interest that's due for that period. Make sure you calculate the right amount of days, and then you take out the interest of the payment, and then what is left, you apply to the principal to get your new principal. Now the book have a few videos that's on YouTube that you may want to use from time to time if you don't understand a concept. And so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to play, I hope it plays a video that basically looks at that concept. It takes about 3-4 minutes. So I want you to see if you could follow. Let me see. hello. Mr. Matador, are you there?
Yeah, I'm
Oh, okay. I wasn't getting any response. I just wanted if the persons followed the video.
I think you were muted or something.
You hear it?
No, I didn't hear it. Sorry. Oh, you might have been muted.
Oh, no. I'm not sure what happened. Let me see if somebody.
No, I didn't hear
Miss
you.
Adelie?
Yeah, we wasn't able to hear.
I just had to
No?
watch it and watch the
Oh.
steps.
Yeah, I couldn't hear
Oh.
anything either. We only was watching.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. Okay then. It basically was just giving an example from the text. They have a number of videos on YouTube for different sections of the textbook. So if you don't understand a concept, you could always go in and type in the name of the text, article business math procedures, and just type in the chapter number, and you will see some short videos on a number of concepts that that appear in the book. Okay, so I just thought I would let you know about that. All right, so I'm going to give you a question to do using that yeah, same concept. So let me find that. Now let me go back to share screen. Now, back to this. Okay. All right. So this is practice exercise number 4. So you have dispersed borrowing $17,000 on a 120-day 12% note. After the 65 days, Sean paid $2,000 on the note. On day 89, he paid an additional $4,000. What is the final balance due using the US rule with ordinary interest, and then calculate the total interest? I should say instead of due interest, calculate the total interest paid. All right. Are we all seeing the question?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll give you a few minutes to work on that, and then I'll call on you to let me know what you did with it. Anybody finishes yet? I guess not. Miss Rose, Danielle, are you through?
No, not yet.
Just checking, I'm not rushing you, but I just want you to finish and just waiting and see,
Okay.
just checking. Mhm.
So,
Okay, Miss Allen, I think I'm finished.
Okay, all right, give me a sec, man. Okay. Okay, so we have Mr. Henry Butler. You are- Tia Notes. Mr. Messidor,
Yes,
yeah, the email I have for you says Jules Messidor1@msn.com. Something back. Mine,
so again,
Hmm?
return.
that's supposed to be correct.
Yes, supposed to be yes.
Lesmesidor
Underscore,
score 1.
right, yes.
Oh, okay, I see. Okay.
No,
All
hold
right.
on. Oh.
Jules.
Jules
Yeah.
_1 at msn.com. JULES_.
Also, no Messidor.
Yeah, Messidor is on it. Jules, first name, then you got underscore. And then the last name.
Oh, so Jules _ Messidor.
And 1 at msn.com.
Yes, people Jules _ Messidor 1 at ms.com. Done. Dania. Miss Dania Roll.
Hi.
I see a Scotiabank email for you. That's fine for me to send stuff to you.
No, you can send it to my personal email.
Uh-huh. You mind saying it?
Yeah, I don't mind. It's Tanya
Okay.
Rule.
DANYAROLLE.
At hotmail.com.
HOTMAIL. Okay. And then Denise Thompson. Okay. Lovely. LOVE. Okay, and Vanique, I don't have any email for you. Hello,
My email is Vanique.
it's VENIQUE.
Healed, HIELD.
I should have known you then. Like,
Pardon?
You did a course with me before.
Yes, in
Oh, okay.
2018.
Okay, because I see the email. Came up. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. All right. VOSINTALCOLAT. Okay, so I'm going to send an email. On this email, I have the pages for the homework. So those of you who don't have the book, you should be able to see those. And then I have the course outline, and I have the PowerPoint in PDF form. You can, I'm sending that now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Okay, so just look at that exercise that you were asked to do. So I am going to start with Mr. Butler. Mr. Butler,
Yes, sir.
what is it for the first portion of it?
I took the $2,000
Mhm.
and I multiplied that by to get the 65 days. That over 120. That's right.
Not quite, because said you borrowed $17,000 on 120-day 12% note.
Right.
So it's 17,000 that you borrowed. And so you have to pay back that 17,000. So any interest or payments is going to be based on the 17,000. So the first thing you have to do is find out how much interest is due on that 17,000. First, the first payment that you made was on which day?
So the first payment was made on the 65 days.
Right. So how much interest do I owe them on for that $17,000 that I borrowed? How are we going to work that out?
So you got to do 17,000 times
17,000
times 65 over 360.
divided over 360. They tell you to use ordinary. Okay. Times
And then the 0.12.
0. So that's the first step. So when we work that out, two divided by
That's
360.
368. 33.
Okay, thank you. $368.33 is the interest that's due on day 65 for that $17,000. Atia, do that $368.33. Atia, no?
Pardon me, what you said? Sorry.
That 368.33 that we got for the interest on day 65, what are we going to do with it?
Subtracted from the $2,000 that Sean paid after 65 days.
Okay, so you're going to pay $2,000 minus 368 33. And how much is left?
1,631.67.
1,631.67. So that is how much will be left. $2,000. Why is that the amount left? Miss No?
Yes.
What happened there? Why is $1,631.67 left? What do we do?
Oh, we're gonna now subtract that.
No, before you get to that, I want to know why is it that we have $1,631.67 left? What is that representing?
Oh, that's representing the interest left, the balance on the interest.
The interest is $368.33. And the payment is $2,000. So what is that $1,631.67 telling us? What is it?
Oh, that's his balance left, sorry.
From the
His
payment that
balance?
he made. Okay, that's the balance left from the payment that he made.
Payment, yeah, from the 17,000,
From the 2,000.
from the 2,000, sorry.
Right. So what we're gonna do with that 1631.67?
We're gonna now subtract that from the $17,000 that he borrowed.
Okay, so you're gonna say now $17,000 minus the 1,631.67, and so that's gonna be left with
15,368.33.
okay. Thank you much. All right, Ambassador, are you with us?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah. What does that $15,368.33? What is that now?
that's the remaining principal, remaining principal.
Okay.
that he paid.
Okay, all right, so this is now the new principal. So he doesn't owe the bank 17,000 anymore. He now owes the bank $15,368.33 after the bank took out the $368 interest out of that $2,000 payment that he made. Okay, so what is the next step now, Mr. Nestor?
Sorry. You're gonna subtract, you're gonna subtract, no, after on the 89th day, he made a payment of $4,000, right?
Uh-huh.
So you're gonna take the 89 over 360, right? I think. Oh, you gotta forgive me.
Mhm. Remember, we have a new principal. Our new principal is $15,368.33. So we now go into round 2. We have finished stage 1 when he made that payment of 2,000. Now he made a payment of 4,000. We're basically going to be doing the same thing that we did with round 1, but the only difference is that our principal is now going to be
$15,000.
$15,368. Okay, $15,368.33 is now our principal.
Right.
Instead of 17,000. So what is the next thing we're going to do? What are we going to do with that $15,368.33?
We're gonna subtract the $4,000 payment. that he made.
No, we can't subtract 4,000 because we have to make sure, find out how much interest is due before we subtract the 4,000. We can't subtract 4,000. How much interest is going to be the bank is owed for the time when that next payment is made?
Okay, so 89 over 360 would be 0.25%, right?
So how much? What is the interest rate?
0.25%?
No, the interest rate that's given in the problem.
12.
Well, 0.12.
Right,
Okay.
right. Sorry.
The interest rate is 0.12. And then how much time passed since first payment was made?
65 minus 89. 65. 24 days.
Okay, so right now we are going to make a payment. We made a payment of 24 days after the first payment.
Ah.
So we need to find out how much interest is due for those next 24 days. So because our principal is now $15,368.33, we need to find 12% of that for 24 days. Tell me what you get when you work that out.
Well, $122.95.
Okay, 122.95.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the interest for the payment on 24 days after the first payment.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay then. So Dania. Dania roll. Dania roll.
Hey,
Are you following us?
I'm following, but I went off. So I was trying to correct it on my side.
Okay.
My
So
calculations.
we have $122 as the interest for that second payment. So what are you going to do with that $122.95?
We're going to subtract it from the 4,000.
Okay, so you're going to say $4,000 because that second payment, $4,000 minus the $122.95, and that gives you what?
$3,877.05.
Okay, so what happens with that $3,877.05?
We will subtract it from the 15,368.33.
15368.33 minus the 3877.05. So that's equal to
$11,491.28.
$91.28 representing now.
That is the balance. Hold on.
That is the balance. I hear you.
That would be the balance of what's left from what he borrowed.
Right. Thank you very much. So right now, his principal is no longer 17,000. It's to 15,368.33 after that $2,000 payment without the interest coming out. Then 11,000 $191.28 after that next payment was made of the $4,000 minus the interest. He did not make any additional payment. So at this stage, who is this now? Denise Thompson?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So at this stage, what are we going to do now?
We have to figure out the interest on the remaining balance.
Right. So his principal is 11,491.28. So how are we going to figure that out?
Times 12% over
0.12 times
how many days left? Yeah, it's 120. Is it 31 days left? How much days left?
is you have made payments up to day 89 and the loan is for 120 days.
So that's a balance of 31 days, right?
Right. 31 days,
Over 360.
360. All right. So what do we get at this point?
So, 100, the interest would be $118.74.
Okay, $118.74 would be the interest at that point. Okay. So what will his final payment be? How are we going to work that out?
We're gonna add the interest to the final principal payment.
Okay, so the final principal is 11491.28 plus the 118.74. So its end balance is
11,610.02.
610.02. So this is what we call the ending balance. Okay. Thank you, Ms. Thompson. And now, Ms. Adderley, what's the last thing that you need to do, Ms. Adderley? Ms. Adderley, are you with us?
Hi, I'm here.
Yes, yes. So basically, most times when you get this question, this would be the end of it, because now you say what the ending balance is, but they ask you something else. If they calculate the total interest, well, it's due there, but it should really the total interest paid. How would you work out the total interest that this person paid?
I am guessing that you would add the 368.33,
368.33, 122.95.
122.95, and the
Mhm.
118.74 together.
You made a very good guess. Yeah. So what's the total interest then?
Total interest. $610.02.
610.0. Okay. Okay. 5149. Yeah. Okay. 610.02 is the interest that you pay. So now the question doesn't ask you for that. You don't have to work it out, but in this case, the question did ask you. All right. So recap. When you have questions like this, your first stage is to find out how much interest is due when you make your first payment. you're looking at how much money you borrowed. You borrowed 17,000. So you calculate the interest that's due on that 17,000 on the day the payment was made. Payment in this case was made on day 65. So you calculate the interest that's due on day 65. Once you find out how much interest is due, you're going to subtract from the payment that you made. You made a payment of 2,000. So you're going to subtract that from the 2,000 to see how much money you are going to subtract from your principal. The bank takes out its interest first. So once it takes out the interest, whatever is left goes to the principal. So that's why we now have that 1631.67 from the 17,000 to give us a new principal of $15,368.33. So that's stage one. Stage two now is to, since you made a second payment, your new principal is what you're going to work from, which is $15,368.33, 12% interest, and now you're going to work out how many days since your first payment was made. And that's the number of days you're going to use to work out the interest. So you made a payment on 65, then on day 89, 24 days passed. Okay? So you work your interest out. In this case, you get your $122.95, and you take that out because the bank is going to take that. That's their money. The $122.95 goes to the bank. The rest out of that 4,000 is what's going to reduce your principal. So you take the $122.95 from the 4,000, you're left with $3,875. Sorry, $3,807.05. So once you subtract that from your principal, you get your new principal now of $11,491.28. You made no more payments, so whatever is left, you're going to work out the amount of interest due until the end of the loan. And the end of the loan would be 31 days after the second payment. From 89 from 120 gives you 31. So you work on the interest that's due at the end, which in this is $118.74. And then you add it to your last principal, which is $11,491, to get your ending balance of $11,610.02. That's your ending balance. Okay. And so that is how questions like that are worked out. Any questions on that? Yes, no?
No, sir.
No, okay. All right, I need you to check, all of you, please check your email to see if you got 3 attachments from me. One should be PowerPoint in PDF form. One should be the course outline, and one should be the pages for your homework. Mr. Butler, you were able to check?
I got it
Yeah,
then.
I see it.
I received the email as well.
Okay. Mr. Macedo, you got the email?
I got it.
Yes?
I got it, yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Roll?
Yeah, I got the email.
Okay. So then, Ms. Adley,
I got the email, sir.
you got it. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So your homework, if you on the sheet, one slide, the things that I put in your email, the last page, I think, have your what you call it now, the questions for your homework. Now, if you have the book, It's at the back of the book, page A39, page A40. All those pages that start with A, they're at the very back of the book. Okay, so you're going to do the questions that are shown there, and it's due on Wednesday or Thursday, depending on which day you can make it. But we have class this week, Wednesday, Thursday. So I just need to check with you now to see who could come which day. Mr. Butler, which day is good for you?
Thursday.
Thursday, okay. Ms. Knowles, which day is good for you?
And Wednesday, sorry.
Wednesday, okay. Mr. Messilo,
Thursday, sir.
Thursday, okay. Ms. Paul, Ms. Roll, which day is good for you?
Wednesday is fine.
Wednesday, okay. Miss Thompson,
Thursday is fine.
Thursday. And Ms. Adley,
Wednesday is fine.
oh boy, we're split in half, 3 for Wednesday, 3 for Thursday. Okay. All right, so the homework is due whichever day you come. And what I will do is basically I want you to maybe take a picture of it, put it in the chat so I could see that you did it. Then I'll give you the answers for you to check. If you have any questions, then we could discuss then. And go from there. Also have the course outline so you know which days we have various classes. And so when we meet on Wednesday, it's 6 o'clock. Try to be on time. The 3 persons coming, and then Thursday, same thing. And then on Saturday, we have our 3rd lesson. Okay. So I think I've been fairly good. And I trust that you'll be able to answer those well. If not, then we'll discuss it when we meet again. You can let me know what issues you have in terms of understanding the work that was done. Any questions, any concerns?
No, sir.
Yes, no, okay. All right.
I got
well,
a little confused on the last assignment, but my brain was malfunctioning a little bit. But the principal is always calculated after the last payment, whatever the rate is.
Yeah, so did you call the example I have there?
Yes, I wrote it down, yes.
Yeah, okay. So I put it back there just in case anybody didn't get it. It's always good to, make note of these workings. So you could always refer back to it later on when you're doing your work. But hopefully the practice, will help you. And if you don't understand it, then we could discuss it further when we meet again. Okay. Okay, thank you all for your attention, and that brings us to the end of the lesson today. And if there are any issues, you always send me an email or a message, and I will make every effort to get back to you. But we'll see some of you on Wednesday, some on Thursday, and all of you next Saturday, God's. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
See you. All right.
Okay.
Okay then.